Most of you probably know my stance on prototypes and one-offs being in War Thunder, but for some reason the 229 has a special place in my heart. I usually hate this type of stuff, but for some reason the 229 always has captured my imagination from the first time I've seen it. And it also has a new battle rating in War Thunder, which makes it useful. It's not seeing things like Hawker Hunters or F-86 Sabres, so hurrah! We're back in it. We're facing B-29s, Bearcats, and P-80s today, which is much better weather for killing today. We're going to pull alongside this B-29. I don't want to come in from behind. I want to kind of come in from an angle to the side. And we're going to unleash the MK-103s, the 30 millimeters. Kaboom, it's a fire. Get out of there before his gunners can track me. My wingman's getting over there as well. We're going to let him burn. I do use the HVAT belts for this, the armored target belts. They work really nice, and they're kind of a... There's two reasons I use them. A, they kill airplanes really well. That's important. And two, you can kill ground targets. You can kill medium tanks, pillboxes, all kinds of good stuff. And when you're flying Tier 5, RP really does matter. So, if you're not seeing a lot of action in the air, you can just swoop down and kill some tanks. Better than probably most bombers in War Thunder. So let's cruise back here. As you can see, I went and found my Hydra skin I used for the first video, which was like over a year ago. Had to go digging for it, but I'm glad to put it back out. And the one thing I want to point out real quick is this aircraft, the cockpit was written with Comic Sans. I'm on to you, Gaijin. I see what you did there. But you could have done better in Comic Sans. I mean, Comic Sans, what are we? In 5th grade? There is a lot of red bandits over there. So this aircraft has a really unique flight model. A, it's a flying wing. The other famous flying wings, of course, being the ones developed by Northrop. It doesn't have a rudder. It doesn't have ailerons. It just has spoilers on top and underneath the wing that make it turn. So you can see there, if you watch the right wing, you can see it pop up and it'll close. That's how you turn the wing. You see it on the P-61 that's just recently added, right? It uses a combination of both. So their spoilers are not a new idea. It's just you don't see them very often in War Thunder. I think it's time to snack on a tasty Bearcat. Let's see. This guy is being kind of ganged up on, so maybe I can sneak in. Oh, he has this... That one's being... Which one do I go? The right or left? Right or left? Right or left? Let's go left. And see if we can get an angle. This guy is turning the direction I need him to. That's excellent. Take aim. Do some calculations. Kaboom! Another roasty American from High Velocity Air Armor Piercing. I like fire. I'll take it any way I can. Get this Bearcat. Let's see if we can catch him too. And a miss. The one thing, though, that I know a lot of people that fly it that don't like this aircraft complain about is that you will snap your little wing in half with basically any maneuver, and that's true. I kind of like to do these big loops like this to avoid any high G maneuver that might break this aircraft into 1,000 pieces. So we'll turn around here. Let's see if we can find that Bearcat. See right there, just a basic little right turn, just a little adjustment to the right. Over, 9G, 10G, 11G. You really have to be careful with this aircraft. Oh, here we go. And even though I'm flying with mouse aim, I use a lot of keyboard input to just make tiny bit adjustments. So that's why you see when I fly this thing, oh crap, that's B80. Hold on, we gotta go in the vertical. 10G, oh wow, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. And here he is. We're gonna use the track enemy button here, which is left alt for me. He is, yeah, 229, really good in the vertical. My wingman snatched him. Thank you, Raz. Might have just saved me there. We have a Spitfire chasing a 229. And there's an Arado kind of off to his right, another 229. P-80 put his fire out. That's very disappointing. I said we turn back and help Mr. Raz. So right here, just a basic right turn at 300 mph. You can see it wanting to break. Raz is in trouble dead. So let's avenge him right here. Nice hit there. Roll back. 10 Gs. Just, it's really maneuverable until it snaps. Take some shots, and... Can we get a hit? He bailed right when I hit him. My wingman got the kill, but I see... Oh, that works. I'm not going to complain. I think that Spitfire is being chased by the Battlefield 1942 Secret Weapons expansion pack out there. So we have a Bearcat way up to the left. Yeah, that Spitfire, if he's still in there somewhere, he's not happy. So let's turn to the left and head towards that Bearcat and see if we can find anything else. There's a dot right there, right ahead of me. And there's a Bearcat right there. So let's go out for that dot. That's probably another B-29 that's trying to sneak around. So one thing I've always heard in kind of the War Thunder circles that this aircraft was stealth. That Horton, from the get-go, tried to make this aircraft stealth. And there's a few things you need to know. This aircraft is a metal frame with a wood covering on top, layered wood, just kind of like every other wooden aircraft at the time. Very basic. Construction was basically lay down a layer of wood, glue it, lay down another layer of wood, glue it, so on. What Horton claims they did was that they put a mixture of charcoal and sawdust in between the layers to add some type of basic radar absorption characteristic. Now, I don't know if they exactly knew what they were doing or what, but... And where this came from is in 1980, the younger Horton brother, who was still alive at the time, wrote a book and basically claimed that it was going to be the German stealth fighter. I don't know why it took 40 years for that information to come out. And there's no real documentation. There's no documentation for flight models for this thing. There's really nothing on it. There's little known about the test flights, maybe a few eyewitness accounts from Horton employees who claimed it was amazing and it was epic and this and that. But if you built something like this decades ahead of the technology, of course you're going to claim it's epic and it did everything you wanted it to. They were trying to get the airplane to production. So I have a hard time believing kind of all the hoopla that surrounds this aircraft. Northrop Grumman did do some tests though in the 90s to evaluate if these claims were legitimate, and they found that it had a poor absorption rate. It did work, but it didn't work very well. It might have worked for 1944, 1945 radar, but this technology would have been outclassed and outdated pretty quick. That Bearcat is chasing me, and I need to start focusing on the dogfight. So we're going to get this Bearcat off our tail right here. We're going to do another loop. Upwards and around, and there he is. Hello, Bearcat. Time to meet your fate. Kaboom. I don't understand why American pilots. I understand you have really nice armament on your Bearcat, but I have two MK-103 30mm. It's like two ducks coming at you. HS-129B2 for those who don't know. 30mm MK-103. Anyway, beside the point. So, I just think it's Horton. Maybe he's trying to sell some books. Maybe he was just, I don't know. I just find it weird. Because in the 80s, you had the B-2, you had the F-117. You had all these stealth aircraft. Stealth was very hot in the 80s. I don't know if they were just... I don't know. I have my bullshit meters reading a little bit on this. And I've done some reading and so on, so I don't know. I'm still kind of on the toss-up here. But I tend to not believe that this thing was going to be a 1945 German stealth fighter. And that being said, this aircraft came too late to do anything anyways, but stealth is really good for attacking things, not for defending. So I don't think a stealth fighter would have really done that much over mainland Europe. So we're going to go up here for this B-29. As you can see, I'm having overheating issues on this map. I always do with German jets. The poor HE-162 just suffers on this map. The ME-262 I've had a little bit of issues with. And then you have the 229, as you can see here. I'm having to throttle up and down. You can see, though, as I throttle up, the temperature shoots right back up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I throttle back down, the temperature drops immediately to, like, almost ice cold, it seems. Kind of funny. We're going to sit here. You can see the spoilers I was talking about earlier as I roll back up and down. And there should be flaps on this aircraft underneath. And I don't know if my skin broke them or did the recent patch maybe broke them, but there's supposed to be underneath its tail there is are flaps, and they're not working. You can hear them moving, but I don't see them. Right there you can see the two spots where the flaps are supposed to come out, and they're not working for me. Okay. Not a big deal. Maybe it's a new feature. I don't know. Well, let's close on this B-29 and finish this round up. But this aircraft is, I think, kind of important to American aviation, especially Northrop's flying. Oh my gosh, that B-29 just got taken out by AA. And you can see the parachutes. So that's the end of this round. But I think this aircraft is important for history. And today you have the B-2 bomber, which has a resemblance to this aircraft, both being flying wings. And now we have the B-21 that just was approved in America, or the B-2.1 if you want to call it. So flying wings aren't going anywhere. They're just not kind of mainstream, you call it, but it's still unique, and it's still something special that I'm glad is in War Thunder. And I really hope that the HO-229 that is still with us today is restored, because I would like to see it before I leave this planet. If you have any questions about this plane, this round, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. And once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.